Okay, so today we will be studying Hilchot Teshuva, 9th chapter. This chapter deals with Sachar va'onesh, payment and punishment, in the Jewish perspective, of course. הלכה א', מאחר שנודע שמתן שכרן של המצוות והטובה שנזכה לה, אם שמרנו דרך השם הכתובה בתורה, היא חיי העולם הבא, שנאמר למען ייטב לך והארכת ימים. So, because we know that the payment for the mitzvot and the good that we will receive if we do the way which Hashem prescribed us according to the Torah is the world to come, as it says in the pasuk, that it may be well with thee, and that thou may prolong thy days. והנקמה שנוקמים מן הרשעים שעזבו רוחות הצדק הכתובות בתורה היא הכרת, שנאמר הכרת תכרת הנפש ההיא עוונה בה, and that the revenge that is avenged upon those who are wicked is getting cut off from the world to come, as it says that soul should be utterly cut off, yes, and its sin should be upon it. So then the following question arises: מהו זה שכתוב בכל התורה כולה? אם תשמעו יגיע לכם, ואם לא תשמעו יקרא אתכם. וכל אותן הדברים בעולם הזה, כגון שובע ורעב ומלחמה ושלום ומלכות ושפלות וישיבת הארץ וגלות והצלחת מעשה והפסדו ושאר כל דברי הברית. So if we said that the good that comes is the good in the world to come, and the bad is being cut off from the world to come, then what does it mean? What does the Torah mean when it says if you fulfill the precepts of the Torah, you will receive good benefits like not being famished, like having food, not having war, etc., etc. And if you act not well, you will have war. There will be famine, etc., etc. So, how does this make sense? We said the good is the world to come, and the bad is being cut off. So, what are all these physical pleasures that are mentioned in the pasuk? What are all these physical goods that are mentioned in the pasuk? What do they have to do with doing the precepts, with fulfilling the precepts of the Torah? Halakha Gimel. Here he answers it. I mean, this whole chapter answers this question. כל אותן הדברים אמת היו ויהיו, ובזמן שאנו עושים כל מצוות התורה יגיעו אלינו הטובות העולם הזה כולן. All the things written in the pasuk, that if we do this, we will receive good, physical good, and if we don't do the Torah, if we don't do as we were commanded by the Torah, we will not receive good, we will receive bad. All these things are true. And when we do all the mitzvot in the correct manner, we receive the good, all the good mentioned. ובזמן שאנו עוברים עליהן, תקרא אותנו הרעות הכתובות. And when we do not fulfill the precepts, the bad things mentioned will happen upon us. ואף על פי כן, אין אותן הטובות הן סוף מתן שכרן של המצוות. But with that mentioned, with that in mind, the good that's mentioned in the Torah, the physical good, is not the end good, is not the last good to be given to those who fulfill the precepts. ולא אותן הרעות הן סוף הנקמה שנוקמים מעובר על כל המצוות, אלא כך הוא היסע הדברים. And also the bad things that are mentioned, to those who do not fulfill the precepts, to those who go against the precepts of the Torah, also these are not the end of the vengeance that will happen to these Resha'im, to these wicked people. But rather, in the following halachot, we will explain what is meant, what these things are, what Sachar and Onesh are, what the good and bad that we receive for doing the mitzvot. It says here Heseya with a samich. The correct girsa, the more correct girsa is Heseya with a sadi, like Heseya. Like, rather, the following will be the answer to all this. The following is the alternative, the proper alternative, the way you should understand the things. Okay? Halakha dalet. HaKadosh Baruch Hu נתן לנו תורה, זו עץ חיים, וכל העושה כל הכתוב בה ויודעו דעה גמורה נכונה, זוכה בה לחיי העולם הבא. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us the Torah. He gave us the Torah. And this Torah is what is called the tree of life. And whoever fulfills what is said in the Torah and knows the Torah in a proper knowledge all the way as prescribed by the Torah, receives through it the life of the world to come. And according to the greatness of his actions and the greatness of his wisdom, he will receive. שאם נעשה אותה בשמחה וטובת נפש ונהגה בחוכמתה התמיד, שיסיר ממנו כל הדברים המונעים אותנו מלעשותה. And in the Torah we are promised that if we do the things in the Torah, if we fulfill the Torah in happiness and in good spirit, and always make sure to dwell in its wisdom, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, if we do all these things, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will take away all those things which can cause us to not properly fulfill the mitzvot. Just like holy, like sickness and war and famine, etc., etc. וישפיע לנו את כל הטובות המחזקים את ידינו לעשות את התורה, כגון צוע ושלום ולבות כסף וזהב. And instead of those things, instead of putting on famine and the good that he will give us is things like money, physical goods like money, and having good health and so on, and peace. כדי שלא נעסוק כל ימינו בדברים שהגוף צריך להם, אלא נשב פנויים ללמוד בחוכמה. Why all this? Why do we receive these physical goods? Yes, there's a common misconception among religious circles, not only Jewish, that it's actually better to if you're poor and you don't have money and you're sick and you work Hashem in the worst ways. It's true that also if somebody is not in a good physical condition, he should still fulfill the precepts. But it's not the ideal. Rather, the ideal is being in good physical conditions, so that we don't have to waste all our time preparing for our body and tending for our bodily physical needs. But rather, in a situation like this, when we act well and Hashem gives us all this good, we will be free to study Torah, and also to do the mitzvot so that we could, and to fulfill the precepts, so that way we could receive the life of the world to come. And as so, it says in the Torah, after mentioning all the goods that we will receive from fulfilling the precepts of the Torah, and it shall and and Hashem will give us it'll be a good to us. A good upon us. הלכה ה' וכן הודיענו בתורה שאם נעזוב התורה מדעתנו ונעסוק בהבלי הזמן כעניין שנאמר וישמן ישורון ויבעט שדיין האמת יסיר מן העוזבים כל טובות העולם הזה שיחזקו ידיהם לבעוט. And it also is mentioned in the Torah that if we purposely abandon the Torah and busy ourselves with the vanities of times, right, as it says in the Torah, Vayishman Yeshurun Vayib'at, and those who were straight waxed fat and kicked. In other words, they kicked away. These people, they stayed fat. They fattened themselves, and as a result of that, they kicked away the precepts of the Torah. They put that on the side as though it was something not so important, as though it was, a side part of life. Eventually, of course, leading to them completely ignoring the Torah. People like this, Hashem will detach from those forsakers all the good of this world. Of course, this good, the same good that allowed them to kick away the fulfillment of the precepts, Hashem will take it away from them. ומביא עליהם כל הרעות המונעים אותם מלקנות העולם הבא, כדי שיעבדו ברשעם. And he puts upon them all the bad. ומביא עליהם כל הרעות המונעים אותם מלקנות העולם הבא, כדי שיעבדו ברשעם. One moment. Stop, מחילה. Sorry to all for this unexpected stop. We will be continuing right now. So, and all these, so Mehila, I'm just going to go back on Halacha He quickly. So all those people who do Vayishman Yeshurun Vayvat, becoming fat and thus kicking away the precepts of the Torah, Hashem will bring upon them all the bads mentioned in the Torah, so that they do not have a chance to even go back to the way, to the right way, to the right path. And this is as it said in the Torah, and you shall work your enemy that God will send to you, and this enemy can be a figurative enemy and it can be a literal enemy as well. Under that you did not properly work Hashem. Just a question to the listeners. Yaakov, do you hear, is the quality well? Is the quality good? I don't want to continue if there's too much background noise.
There's a background noise that is going over your voice.
Is it horribly impairing the shiur?
Kind of.
Okay, so I will try to be as loud as possible. נמצא פירוש קולותיין הברכות והקללות על דרך זו. הלכה ו'. So, in other words, the berachot, the blessings and the curses are the following. כלומר, אם עבדתם את השם בשמחה ושמרתם דרכו, משפיע עליכם הברכות האלו ומרחיק הקללות. If you properly work Hashem in happiness and fulfill his precepts, then he will give you all the good and take away all the bad. He'll give you all the blessings and take away all the curses. Until you are completely free to study Torah and fulfill the precepts. So that you could go to the world to come, receive the world to come. And therefore you will have a world that is all good, and you will have your days will be long for a world that is all long. Of course, we're talking about the world to come. And you will receive that way the two worlds. What two worlds? The physical world and the world to come. For good life in this world, which lead to the next world. And I'll just mention as a side point that Rabbi Menashe ben Israel, in his book Nishmat Hayim, says that Hayim, the word Hayim, is dual. It cannot be alone. It's a word that is a dual word, like Ofanayim, which is two. And it does not come in a lone form, because Hayim has to be dual. Of course, there's a way to cut it off. But the proper Hayim, the proper life, is a dual life, the world, this world and the world to come. שאם לא יקנהן חוכמה ומעשים טובים, אין לו במה יזכה, שנאמר כי אין מעשה וחשבון ודעת וחוכמה בשאול. And if he does not fulfill the precept and try to do his best, he will not, there's nothing he can receive this world in. There's nothing he can receive for the following world in, the following life, after the olam haba. שנאמר כי אין מעשה וחשבון ודעת וחוכמה בשאול, as it says in the book of Ecclesiastics, for there is no work, no device, no knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave. Halacha zayin. ואם עזבתם את השם, ושגיתם במאכל ומשקה וזנות ודומה להם, מביא עליכם כל הקללות האלו ומסיר כל הברכות, עד שיכלו ימיכם בבהלה ופחד, ולא יהיה לכם לב פנוי ולא גוף שלם לעשות המצוות, כדי שתאבדו מחיי העולם הבא, תאבדו מחיי העולם הבא. And if you go away from the proper path and dwell in the goods of this world, like eating and drinking and adultery and so on and so forth, Hashem will bring upon you the kilalot and take away the blessings. He will bring upon you the curses and take away the blessings until eventually you lose your world to come through the result of this. You lose two worlds. You lose this world, because Hashem takes away all the blessings and the good. Then you lose the world to come as well. שבזמן שאדם טרוד בעולם הזה בחולי ובמלחמה ולעוון, אינו מתעסק לא בחוכמה ולא במצווה שבהן זוכים לחיי העולם הבא. Because if somebody is preoccupied with dealing with things like famine and war and etc., then he does not have a chance, he does not have the freedom to dwell in the priest in fulfilling the Torah and studying the Torah. Halakha het. ומפני זה, התאוו כל ישראל נביאיהם וחכמיהם ימות המלך המשיח, כדי שינוחו ממלכות הרשעה, שאינה המנחת להן לישראל לעסוק בתורה ובמצוות כהוגן. And because of this, because of the aforementioned, all of the prophets of Israel and the sages of Israel always were tempted and lustful for Yemot HaMashiach, for the Messianic era. They were craving for it. Because in the Messianic era, okay, they will be able, it's a time in which there's no tyrannical government, and they have the tranquility to study the Torah and observe the precepts in the proper way in which they should. And this, of course, and of course, they will be able to, as a result, receive a place in the world to come. Halakha tet. לפי שבאותן הימים תרבה הדעה והחוכמה והאמת. And why is this? What is so amazing about these days? In these days, the chokhmah, the da'ah, the chokhmah and the emet, the wisdom and the truth will be abundant. As it says in the book of Yeshaya, Ki male'ah ha'aretz da'ah et Adonai kamayim layam mechasim. As it says in the book of Yeshaya, for the earth shall be full of knowledge of Hashem, and they will be covering, like an ocean covers the world, they will be covering the world. ונאמר, ולא ילמדו איש, one second, חילה. ונאמר, ולא ילמדו עוד איש את רעהו ואיש את אחיו. ונאמר, והסירותי את לב האבן מבשרכם. And it says also, and they shall not teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother. And it also says, and I will take the stony heart out of your flesh. In other words, we're talking about a time, and the stony heart being that heart which is always dwelling in those physical pleasures of the physical world. Because this era, the Messianic era, will eventually lead to a king, which will stand on Israel. And his wisdom will be greater than that of King Shlomo. And his prophecy will be close to the prophecy of Moshe Rabbeinu. And as a result, he will teach the whole nation the way of Hashem, the proper wisdom of the path of Hashem. As it says in the book of Yeshaya, it will come to pass in the end that the mountain of Hashem will be established on the top of the mountains. In other words, not physical establishment. We're talking about a non-physical establishment. It is a parable, of course, to explain that Harbet Hashem, everybody will be going up to Yerushalayim. Everybody will go visit Yerushalayim in this Messianic era, which will, of course, lead to the king to hear the wisdom of the Torah. Halakha Yod. וסוף השכר כולו והטובה האחרונה שאין לה הפסק ולא גירעון הוא חיי העולם הבא. But the end of all this, all the wisdom, somebody's whole life works to follow the proper path of the Torah and to properly understand and study the wisdom, this will lead to the world to come. But the Messianic era, but there's a misconception, and again, we said this at the end of the last chapter as well, that Yemot HaMashiach will eventually lead to the end of the world, and this end of the world will be a time, what we call Olam Haba. No. But rather, Yemot HaMashiach, this Messianic era, in which there's a Messianic, the Mashiach, the king, what defines it, what differentiates it from the other eras of Am Yisrael is that in this era we will have a kingdom which will continue on and on. Yes, and the world will not be destroyed or something. There'll be this world, there'll be the next world, except that this world will be such a world that allows us in a much easier and much in a much more real way to reach the next world and reach the wisdoms of the Torah, which lead to the next world. The tree of life. And as it says in the Talmud by the early sages, the difference between the Messianic era and today, in other words, their day, is Shi'abud Malchuyot, is the oppression of government alone. I think clearly we are reaching that stage, and Be'ezrat Hashem, we're getting much closer to that level. We're back in Eretz Yisrael. The Jewish people as a nation are back in Eretz Yisrael, and little by little there's more and more improvement. And Be'ezrat Hashem, may we have the zechut to see Melech HaMashiach in our days. Baruch Adonai L'olam, amen.